Hi, this is Nicholas Barner. I'm going to be reading the beginning of my story, Hex Education, from the Santa Barbara Literary Journal. He was with me. I dreamt of us spying the old comet, scraping the top of the world. I dreamt I was up-facing, wool-wrapped and warm, both of us eyeing the bright fuse. Then I smelled myself, the fetid ale, gagging spirits. The hearth was on, but burning too low. The ice was everywhere, thin, cold skins on the panes, cracking hairlines in the wash basin. I felt myself cold and shaking atop the blankets, still wearing yesterday's coats. I cringed and swallowed, holding tight my thin gut. The window was ajar. I left it that way, I guessed. Did not recall. Up all night again with Ephraim, the pumpkin farmer. We were friends, trapped together in this exile, along with nearly 60 more of the reformed. It had been 250 of us when we made shore. We lost a few, it seems. My husband was one. After he was gone, Ephraim took care of me. We drank often now, and a lot. Not at Ephraim's, not with his young, aloof bride. No, we drank and talked, in my home, the schoolhouse. Yesterday had been one calendar year to the day of my husband's death, so it had been a long and indulgent evening. Then came the cold night alone, the dreams of the hurtling comet, how we'd known that falling star was an omen, the thing that we'd watched for to signal our departure. Then it was waking up, body glued by frozen nocturnal perspirations to my old love's canvas bed, and hearing something. What was that? A knocking, but not the door. It came from the far wall. Clunk, clunk, clunk. It was a broken exterior thing, a thing for dealing with later. It had been February when I lost him, and now it was February again. Both months felt sunless. The ground was deep-crusted snow when he died. I had been trudging homeward from the Brewsters. I hauled with me an armful of split cedar. My husband and I had burned our wood already, and he was succumbing to the chill. That was when I noticed through the dark window my love's face, expression stuck, eyes bearing forward like two painted coins. At first I smiled to see him upright, but then I understood. I ran inside, touched his cheek, unfolded his body like a stuck hinge. I laid him flat, put my face to his belly, let my tears find his shirt. Then a year ran through this failure of a town. I had Ephraim's friendliness only, and not a memory of note between that day and this. I sat up in bed and looked past my knees. My feet were yellow. That's the pumpkins. So many pumpkins will turn you yellow, and the pumpkins were all that we had, besides our ale. Damn ale would kill me. I could feel it in my marrow then. I smelled the cold drink in my pewter mug. My stomach bent to a clove hitch. Must have been a clapboard thwacking on that outside wall. Yes, a clapboard loose from the wind. Clunk, clunk, clunk. Must have been the thing that woke me. Clunk, clunk, clunk. I closed the window, still not feeling my feet. I crawled from bed to hearth. I threw in wood, blue cinders, laid down, sick and shivering. The floorboards were soft pine, and they felt thick. My eye rested along a nail hole. I thought if I should close the school. Could I? I never had. I brushed out hay from my apron, breathed shallow, and waited for my toes to warm. I said, Compassionate Lord, thy mercies have brought me to the dawn of another day. Vain will be its gift unless I grow in grace, increase in knowledge, ripen for spiritual harvest. The muscles in my limbs were like stringed venison. The schoolhouse was a small home and feeling smaller. The lined up jars of dusty, dried sassafras, the untidy pile of hornbooks and quills, the barrel of ale that must wait for lunch. Every thought and sight came and left my head through a small and frightening door leading straight to a bad part of the mind. My blinking eyelids left little agonies in their wake, green dark remains of snuffed out flames. The garlic braided from the eaves, that pot in the corner, pumpkin mash from midnight supper. A decayed pumpkin is the hexmost thing a nostril can waft, Ephraim had once said to me. He'd harvested a vine, found one rotten. But a fresh one is ambrosia, he'd added. He then took his knife, cleaved into a bulging fruit, presented me an orange slice. The squash's inner hue was so brilliant, its rind so vivid and hard. Ephraim was right. It smelled of a private pleasure, something for which he would forgive a little greed. I had smiled then. Nice times, I thought. Nice times come. I would open the school, sick to death or not. The clapboard hammered through the schoolhouse walls, not loud, not quiet. Outside, scouting snowflakes explored cold winds. A blizzard showed early symptoms. I quit the hearth to lay about a circle of hornbooks and psalters. I barely had them on the floor when the iron knocker hit. Answering it, I found Abigail, chaperoned by her mother, who said to me that I looked unsorted. She questioned if I needed anything. They still ask me, I thought. They always ask. What could be wrong? What do you need? As if they would lift a needle to mend a mitten. They hate me for being about the children like this, unsorted. They hate me and they would hang me. But learn to read then, I think. Learn to read and teach these students, and you can hang me or drown me or burn me. We would all be better. Thank you.